Devi Gauravani Prachanine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyat Desa Tarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukham Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langvaite Girim Yat Krupatam Ham Vande Shri Gurun Dinitari. Hare Krishna. So today we will see the verse number 34. So this last verse and this verse, the 33rd and 34th verse are the extension of 32. Mostly the word na karoti na lipyate. So Krishna is explaining about the Paramatma feature, how it is expanded everywhere. And we should understand that the soul and the super soul both are transcendental, eternal, and beyond the nature. So on the 33rd verse, we see explanation about no lipyate, and the example given was of Akash or the sky. So everything exists in the sky, but sky is itself is different, and it does not mix with anything. So now in this verse, Krishna explains about the other aspect. But a natural question will come, but the sky does not mix is okay, but the sky does not act also. It does not affect anything. It's the existence. But the Paramatma is all pervading, but Paramatma acts because of existence of Paramatma. There is something in the body. So how to understand this? How it works? If it is like Akash, but it acting. So that is explained in this verse. Okay, so let us see. Yatha prakashayati ekaha.
Yata prakashayateka
Krishnan lokam imam ravihi.
Krishnam lokam imam ravihi
Kshetram kshetri tatha Krishnam.
Kshetram chetri tata Krishnam
Prakashayati Bharata.
Prakashayati Bharata.
Okay, please chant.
Yata prakashayateka Krishnam lokam imam ravihi Kshetram chetri tata Krishnam Prakashayati Bharata.
यथा प्रकाशयति एकः कृष्णं लोकम् इमां रवि क्षेत्रं क्षेत्री तथा कृष्णं प्रकाशयति भारतः.
Okay, so translation and purport. O son of Bharata, as the sun alone illuminates all this universe, so does the living entity, one within the body, illuminate the entire body by consciousness. Purport. There are various theories regarding consciousness. Here in Bhagavad Gita, the example of sun and sunshine is given. As the sun is situated in one place but is illuminating the whole universe, so small particles of spirit soul, although situated in the heart of this body, is illuminating the whole body by consciousness. This consciousness is proof of presence of the soul, as the sunshine or light is the proof of presence of sun. When the soul is present in the body, there is a consciousness all over the body, but as soon as the soul has passed from the body, there is no more consciousness. This can easily be understood by any intelligent man. Therefore, consciousness is not product of combination of matter, but it is the symptom of the living entity. The consciousness of the living entity, although qualitatively one with the supreme consciousness, is not supreme, because the consciousness of one particular body does not share that of another body. But the super soul, which is situated in all bodies as friend of individual soul, is conscious of all bodies. That is the difference between supreme consciousness and individual consciousness. So the soul's presence in the body affects the body. How? The soul gives the consciousness, or what we say, the living force. In another word used is living force. So in Zen meditation also,
in Japan, like we see the Zen meditation is very popular. All over the world, it is very popular. So when we meditate, actually the people meditate for 2 hours, 3 hours daily. And what they do, they uh, of course see the thoughts that come in the mind, observe the thoughts, but at certain level, when they are used to observing the thoughts, then they can also go to the next level where they try to experience or see or feel the flow of energy in the body. See, our body, though it looks like our body is not stationary, right? We are, of course, we are moving, but within our body also is always movement. uh, the blood is flowing, the air is flowing, uh, there is always flow. uh, and how this flow takes place, that is the living force by which everything is happening. uh, if it was like it was a machine, then it should flow, the flow should happen irrespective of presence of soul in the body or not. But there is some force by which all these actions or these flows start and stop. So like if we say in the building there is water, so the water is flowing, going up, coming down, it's going into different houses, everybody is using. So one may think that, oh, the water flow is a natural thing, it will work like that always. But that is in okay, that is one way, it is some understanding, but that's not the correct understanding. Uh, there is some mechanism by which this water flow works. There should be some pump through which the water will be pumped in the different areas, through with the once it is pumped up, then it will come down. Or this is what I told, pumping up and down. This is a crude method, but there may be different latest technologies for the flow of the water. But there is technology and there is pump. There are outlets, there are inlets, and there is control. If that control stops, then everything stops. Same about internet. We can say the internet always works. No, it's not like that. Internet always works. Internet works because there is a mechanism. There is flow. And if that, so in our house, internet is there. If the modem is stopped, internet will not work. So if we think that it will always work and there is nothing in the background, that's a incorrect understanding. So there is always a force, living force in our body, which is making all the things happen. And that is what Krishna is telling here, that my presence is experienced by consciousness. So sometimes people ask, right, how can you understand God? Have you seen God? If you have not seen God, how can you show me God? So there may be many challenging people like this, right? So the simplest answer is here. So if a person is living, that means the soul is there. So that is the proof of existence of soul. So anybody says like, how can you say the soul is there in the body? How is the boss? You are living. If you are living, that means there is this consciousness running in the body. And if you are asking me this question, that means you are living. You can experience your hands, eyes. So that consciousness is there. So if the consciousness is there, the soul is there. And that is the proof of soul. Right? Very simple language. The scientist will go to many different levels there. I don't know exactly where, but I heard there was some experiments done to very nano portion of the heart to check from where this living force is coming. Because scientists also want to know, right, how this flow, okay in the heart, but from the heart how the pumping starts, and then why the pumping stops. So scientists also have tried to analyze, and there is one study or one paper where they have said that there is something in the heart which actually is the trigger of all these things, and when that thing stops, everything stops. So that stop means like what, the soul goes away, and then that is the stoppage, and then the everything stops. So that is the consciousness. So here the example is given of sun. The sun may be in one sun, right? But one sun, but all over the earth, it is the one sun that is giving the light and heat, both. Uh, So the existence of sun is so far away from all of us, but still we can see the presence of sun. We can feel the heat of sun, uh, and there are some countries where their sun is very less, like on the north side. Then the life there is very difficult. uh. So if the sun is rising there for 3 to 4 hours, then the life is very difficult because of absence of light and heat. Mm. So they know the importance of sun much better. They want more sun. Mm. But they don't get. So the sun actually illuminates everything. So like the sun sitting in one place illuminates all the universe. Similarly, the soul within our heart actually maintains all our body by the living force or the consciousness, and by which everything is working. Uh, and the super soul is with the individual soul always, as Krishna has explained. So they both are in our body, but the individual soul, like my consciousness, is different from, say, Jayashri's consciousness, is different from Om's consciousness, from uh, whoever listening. Everybody's consciousness, my consciousness is different. That's why everybody is different. Uh, so how I cultivate my consciousness depends on me, how I keep my lifestyle, everything. That's totally my responsibility. Uh, So if I do spiritual activities, I have higher consciousness. If I do activities which are against the spiritual or human um, nature, then I'm going towards a demonic or ignorant activities. That's my consciousness, right? So everybody has different consciousness, but that depends on the body, how the consciousness goes. So the soul itself does not do anything. We have seen that Prakriti does everything. So Prakriti means the body and the senses and the mind. But the soul itself just identifies with the body and gets affected. So what's the difference? The consciousness is there in everybody. Okay, and the consciousness may be different based on the body and the desires, but consciousness, that living force, is there in everyone. So what we are talking about is the soul, which is the living force, or which is giving the consciousness to everyone. So everybody has different level of consciousness, uh, and they cultivate it differently, but everybody has that. And that is what that is what Krishna is saying, that if you can see this identity or single point of common um, common point in all the living entities, that is the correct vision, that you should be able to see the existence of soul and super soul in the all bodies. So one who has this vision is situated in Brahman. That's what Krishna is explaining. And then he said, like, how you get that vision, how you see. That is what Krishna is explaining. Right? So the common point is the existence of the soul and the consciousness. How that consciousness works depends on the body, and the body is depending on our desires. Yeah. So this is how Krishna is concluding this chapter. It started from Kshetra, Kshetragya, and now he is linking everything and also giving the. We have to always remember why Krishna is telling this to Arjuna, because Krishna wants Arjuna to fight. Uh, So Krishna is telling Arjuna that the common point or the source or the cause of everything is same, but the bodies are different, and the bodies of your enemies, they may be your spiritual masters, your fathers, uncles, but that is the body, or that is the Prakriti. So you should not um, uh, say that I cannot fight. You should see the root of everything. And then Krishna says that if you work like this, if you understand this and you work like this, then you are in
Praman. So you will not get entangled. Na karoti, na lipyate. So if you have that consciousness of looking at the eternity and the cause, and then you do the activities, then actually you are not entangling yourself. Similarly, what explained in the last verse. The soul does not do anything. He don't get engaged like sky. But at the same time, like sun, it is illuminating by consciousness. So next time when we see, this is one way of meditation, that when you close the eyes, and you can close the eyes, means you have living force, you have consciousness. So that itself is a fulfillment, because the most fearful situation is non-existence, right? So when you exist, that is the mindfulness. That also is one terminology, right? The different ways of looking at it. So this is one of that way, when you should feel fullness, that yeah, I have living force, I am living, I have consciousness. Okay, so in the next verse, Krishna actually concludes this chapter of Kshetra and Kshetragya. So that we'll see tomorrow. Hare Krishna. So we are almost finishing the 13th. We go to the gunas. Okay, any comments or any points anybody wants to add? Okay, Hare Krishna, and we'll see you tomorrow with the last verse of this chapter. Thank you very much. See you tomorrow.
Krishna, thank you so much.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Uddhava. Thank you.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. So see you tomorrow.